Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for such a lovely welcome. Good afternoon, everyone, and a heartfelt welcome to everyone joining us today, whether you're here, you're there in person because I'm online, or you're joining us online. And I have to say, happy almost ending of LGBTQ plus History Month and happy National Coming Out Day, which was celebrated on October 11th. I am truly delighted that we can gather as a community to honor, celebrate, and uplift our LGBTQIA plus friends and family members. Your presence today is really a testament to the spirit of inclusion and love that defines us as Unitarian Universalist, which is a welcoming faith that values and honors the interdependent web of all existence and acknowledges our place in it. So, as you know, my name is Yvette McDonnell. I am a short, cisgender African American woman with cinnamon colored skin with hints and undertones of chipotle chili. I am wearing a black shirt with a tan and black zebra-like print sweater. My hair is short today, and I have on medium gold hoop earrings. I'm sharing this description of myself for two reasons. One, to support accessibility for all, and the other is to share about my context of my identity as it relates to the queer community. See, I am an ally. And this month, as I shared, is LGBTQ plus History Month. And National Coming Out Day was October 11th, which is celebrated on the same day. I'm not sure if you know this, celebrated on the same day as the Second March on Washington for lesbian and gay rights that took place back in 1987. And today is Intersex Awareness Day, a day that is designed to highlight human rights issues faced by intersex people. And all of these days this month are they're just a reminder to us to uplift and support our beloved LGBTQ plus communities and also to raise awareness about LGBTQ plus rights. Now, before I go any further, I want to clarify the acronym of LGBTQIA plus and what it represents. It means lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and asexual. And the plus stands for individuals who may identify as pansexual, demisexual, or have other sexual orientations and gender identities that's not so easily captured with one single definition. So overall, LGBTQIA plus describes a diverse group of people who identify as non-heterosexual or non-cisgender. Now, friends, that we have this basic understanding, I want to share something I found on the Canadian government's website. And please take note that I said Canadian. And there's a reason that I'm not finding these things on our own government's website. So I chose the Canadian government's website because I thought it was really beautifully articulated. And they describe our coming out as an act of publicly or privately sharing one's sexual orientation and or gender identity, which can look different for every single person, right? So for some, it isn't a defining moment because some people have always lived their lives openly. And for others, it can be this empowering milestone in their lives. But, for many people, however, it remains really difficult and honestly very dangerous as LGBTQIA plus communities too often, too often face rejection. They face discrimination and harassment. And the reality is that coming out is rarely one single big event, but more like this ongoing journey that demands both courage and resilience. Coming out for some is rarely this just like this one event, right? But it's an ongoing journey, as I said, that demands such courage and resilience. And there's a lot of heavy emotional labor that you can't see because many times folks in the LGBTQ plus communities come out more than once, right? They they come out to themselves. They may come out then to their parents, then they may come out to their siblings, their partners, their spouses, to extended family members, colleagues and friends and beyond, right? The list goes on and on. So each October, we can come together to honor LGBTQ plus History Month. And it's a time when we can reflect on the lives and the struggles and the triumphs of those who have shaped the history of our diverse community. And central to this month, right, is National Coming Out Day, as I said, which was on October 11th. And it's a day that's rooted here in the United States. But you know what? It really resonates. It resonates with people from around the world. I love how Human Rights Campaign describes coming out. They said that the language of coming out can center the people queer folks are coming out to, rather than focus on being on who is actually doing the coming out themselves. See, it gives the impression that those who aren't cisgender or heterosexual are hiding something from society. Instead, right? Instead of recognizing that homophobia and transphobia make their environment and world unwelcoming. And I want to take that just a little step further and say that the real truth is that we live in a society that often demands their secrecy. Because sometimes coming out, sometimes people have to keep things a secret out of fear of rejection, fear of being cast out, perhaps from their home, or even perhaps they're trying to protect a loved one from pain or being labeled. Um, there's a fear that they could have of losing their job or facing violence or even death for being their authentic selves. And we know that openly sharing your authentic self throughout history and right now is being demonized. And the basic human rights, marriage equality, affirming healthcare are being threatened. And the rights of our beloved LGBTQ plus community, their rights are being stripped away. The cost of coming out can be very high for all the reasons that I just spoke about. And the cost of not living openly can have its toll, right? Having to hide one's true self can be just as intense and damaging. Hiding can erode one's self-worth and deeply, deeply affect one's physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. When one publicly identifies as LGBTQ+, they're inviting you in. They're inviting family members in, coworkers in, friends in to be a part of their lives. See, there is a profound sacredness about the act of coming out. It's not just a milestone or it's not just this announcement. It's an offering of truth, a moment when someone entrusts you with a piece of their most deepest selves. When One chooses to share their truth. LGBTQIA plus individuals are expressing faith, faith in themselves, faith in those around them, and hope that acceptance, hope of belonging, hope of even possibly of being loved. When someone comes out to you, you are being invited in to a holy moment, a moment of vulnerability, a moment of courage, and a moment of profound trust. This moment is not to be taken lightly. It is, it is the sacred exchange, one that deserves reverence and care. It is one of the ways we can bear witness fully and be an ally. At the beginning of today's service, I shared that I am an ally to the LGBTQ plus community. And I'm reminded of the quote by Lily Tomlin. She said, you know, I always wondered, why doesn't somebody do something about that? Then I realized I was that somebody. Friends, you are that somebody. And together we are somebodies and we are the allies who are needed exactly at this moment. But what does it really mean to be an ally to a historically marginalized group? Excuse me. And yes, I mean all historically marginalized groups. I'm not just talking right now about how do we be an ally just to the LGBTQ plus community. I'm also including people of color. I'm including women. I'm including people with disabilities, those experiencing homelessness, individuals who are under-resourced, those who are working hard to make ends meet, and people who are living at or below the poverty line. See, many people find themselves at like these intersections of identities, right? People don't just identify as one thing. So we can't just be allies to one group. And I know that can be overwhelming, right? It can be overwhelming and it can sound overwhelming, but each and every one of us can make a difference, no matter where we start. Being an ally means being willing. Now, here it comes, ready? Being an ally means being willing to give up, let go of some of your own privilege to make space for justice. So, what does that actually look like? So, for example, if you're a man in a room and a woman, let's say, is being repeatedly interrupted, being an ally could mean using your own privilege of being a man, for example, to speak up and say something like, I don't know, excuse me, you've been interrupting such and such, right? Please let her finish her thoughts. See, allyship isn't just checking in afterwards. It's about disrupting the moment and speaking out when it matters. Allies show up when their marginalized counterparts feel worn down and tired. Allies keep doing their own inner work, right? Allies need to keep examining their own biases of racism, sexism, homophobia, and transphobia, especially especially if someone is generous enough to call them in, right? Now, here's the thing. People mess up. I mess up all the time, right? People mess up. We're going to mess up. We are human. We do peoply things. But let me tell you, I'd rather be called in when I mess up than being called out, right? Because being called in allows me to really hear the message, allows me to kind of continue to work on myself, allows me to be a better ally. Allyship isn't something that's passive. It isn't it isn't like this checklist, right? You can't just speak up once and or twice and go to a couple of rallies and go to a protest and say, check, I did it. Check, I went to that meeting, right? Check, I went to that training. No, that's not what allyship is. Allyship is an ongoing process, and it's essential for creating justice and building equitable policies and practices and spaces. Unitarian Universalist faith is a great example of what it means to support and live into allyship. I'm not sure if you're aware, but for over 50 years, UU faith and Unitarian Universalist faith, we kind of use the word UU. Unitarian Universalist faith has led the way and has worked hard to make sure lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people are full members of our faith communities. And being a welcoming congregation means striving for radical inclusion and creating space that honors every part of our identities, our backgrounds, and experiences. Being recognized by the Unitarian Universalist Association as a welcoming congregation, let me tell you, that's no easy task. It doesn't mean like you just wake up one day and put your placard out and say, "Yep, we're a welcoming congregation." That's not how it works, right? It means a congregation has engaged in ongoing training and met the association's requirements for measurable achievements in education, congregational life, and community outreach. To be considered a welcoming congregation, members must hold a congregational vote to affirm their recognition by the UUA, which is the Unitarian Universalist Association. And becoming and remaining a welcoming congregation requires dedication and effort. And I'm not sure if you all know, I believe I heard it mentioned today. I think it's part of something you all say every Sunday. Um, Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Laguna Beach is a welcoming congregation. They're listed, right? So that's an amazing thing to be proud of, to be part of Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Laguna Beach, that they are a welcoming congregation. And our commitment as you use to being a welcoming faith, it expands beyond any Zoom room, right? For us, with us meeting, it expands beyond any walls. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but the Unitarian Universalist Association, also the UUA, known as the UUA, has recently launched something called the Woodlands. And the Woodlands is this new virtual pastoral care program for transgender people of all ages, for their families and their loved ones. And this program provides vital support, vital connection, and affirmation to those who may need it the most, wherever they are in the world. Now, I come here every other month or so, and it is not my thing to to give plugs for different programming. But I have to tell you, I felt called to share this new program because friends, now more than ever, as the LGBTQIA plus community, they're under attack. They're under direct attack by the current regime. And it is imperative that we know our community resources, that not only do we know them, that we share them, right? So you don't have to be a Unitarian Universalist to participate with the Woodlands program, right? So you can share this information with people who are not UUs. Share it because it is needed. Because let me tell you, the only way that we are going to make it through this current regime is through our community connections. Nobody else is coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. And community is going to be the thing to do that. And as I bring this sermon to a close, I want to emphasize how crucial it is to be an ally, not only to the LGBTQIA plus community, but to all of those who live at the intersections of marginalized identities. National Coming Out Day is just one example that reminds us of the sacredness in these moments of truth and honesty. When someone comes out to you, resist, please resist the urge to center yourself. For that moment, simply hold the space. For that moment, just listen. Whether the person is your loved one, your coworker, or your friend or family member, it is a profound blessing to be trusted with someone's story. May you hold their truth with love and compassion. Amen, Ashe, and may it be so. Please join us for our closing song. I'm coming.